Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about Theater Mode. The gameplay that you see on the left-hand side of the screen was recorded live from my capture card as I was playing. I'm running a Bacon Riot Shield, Assault Shield, and Executioner, running Flak Jacket, Toughness, Fast Hands, Scavenger, and I believe I have Fast Mags on my Executioner so I can reload faster too. And my goal is to either nail people with the C4 or to get close enough to swap to the Executioner really fast and pop them. On the right-hand side of the screen is an over-the-shoulder following me. I recorded this out of Theater Mode as soon as I was done with the game, and it's a kind of a neat view because you can see me moving around to block bullets, you can see people moving around beside me to try to get me, and you can see my live grenade and C4 chunks. The topic of this video is about the Theater Mode in Black Ops 2, 1, Halo, and the upcoming Ghost Theater Mode. It's not a very serious gameplay video. I think I do pretty good for the Riot Shield. I play very objectively, end up carrying my team in the first round, and then not so much because I die a lot near the end of the second round, but we do barely squeak out a victory here despite being down. And let's talk about Theater Mode. I've been using Theater Mode in games for a very long time. I started out back in Halo 3. That was the first game that had a really good Theater Mode to use. It wasn't the most sophisticated, but it definitely got the job done, and I made some old Halo machinimas and that. Yeah, the ones where the characters bob their head up and down, that kind of stuff. I did a whole lot of that, recorded gameplays from that, little montages from that, and I did it in Reach, Halo 4, so of course I was really excited to see Theater Mode in Black Ops 1. What was really cool about the Black Ops 1 Theater Mode is that it wasn't just the basic where you can watch the first or third person, but you also had some really cool features like a dolly camera and your time remapping, so you can not only tell the camera where to be at a certain time and it would interpolate, but it would speed up and slow down and track a person, and it would track these objects and do lots of cool things. You had clip editing, clip uploading. Uploading, unfortunately, I think was stuck at 360 or 480p, so it wasn't as useful to me that I had a capture card. And what baffles me is this dude threw a Simtex at me, and his Simtex detonated on impact. I've never seen that before. I have no idea why that happens. And it also had transitions, third-person view, third-person follow, free roam, lots of neat things with it. A lot of these things carried over to Black Ops 2. Not as many of them were as in Modern Warfare 3. We didn't have the dolly camera, the time remapping, or any of that sort of sophistication, but it was still a really good and useful tool. Using these things, I was able to make quite a few what I called cinematic videos. I had the Mirror's Edge montage, I had Call of Community cinematic, I had just a handful of, cinematic videos every now and then because it was really fun. You could do some neat things. Like I showed myself dodging a noob tube that went by my face in slow motion as I was dolphin diving and shooting akimbo scorpions, and it made for really great videos. The unfortunate thing is, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, it was a really underused feature and not very many people used the Theater Mode. They would use it a little bit for editing montages. There were a few people like Mr. Blackout that would kind of specialize in Theater Mode gameplays. I tried to do that, but the audience didn't take to it, the people didn't take to it. It was a whole lot of effort. So unfortunately, it was not used to the fullest extent of its abilities. Even this sort of thing right here is very simple to do. I didn't even scratch the surface of what the Theater Mode can do. But what messes me up, or what I'm sad about, is that there's not going to be any Theater Mode in Call of Duty Ghosts. I've asked around, I've looked at some websites, you get different websites reporting different things, MP First, Charlie Intel, these sort of places. You look on that Reddit or you talk to people, and there was no Theater Mode in the build of Ghost that I played. There's been no confirmed Theater Mode from anybody that I saw, and my understanding is that Theater Mode is being removed from Call of Duty Ghost entirely. Some people are saying it's confirmed, some people are saying it's not, some people are saying it's not announced yet. I'm not entirely sure, so from at this point, because it hasn't been confirmed, which it has been for the last couple of years, I'm going to assume that it was taken out, and I think I know why it was taken out. The obvious answer is the rumor that the Theater Mode causes lag, and it actually does cause lag, because what your Theater Mode does is it takes snapshots of what you're doing at any given time. It's not per frame, it's like every 6th frame, every 4th frame, every 10th frame. It's got some sort of interval, and it just kind of saves that, and then it linearly interpolates the data between the frames, so it just kind of goes straight through like a train on tracks. Pretty straightforward. It does add a little bit of extra burden to the host. You have to use a little bit of your bandwidth and processing power to get these snapshots. It's not a lot of bandwidth or processing power, not a lot of data. I mean, if you want to talk about removing Theater Mode and, saving yourself some lag, you're really cutting 1% of lag at best here, but, 1% of lag is still 1% of lag, and every little improvement does definitely add up. But the lag, I don't believe, is why the Theater Mode was removed. The number one reason is that because the Xbox One and PS4 come with built-in capturing and streaming abilities. The PlayStation 4 has this share button, and if I'm remembering correctly back to the original tech demos, you hit that and it'll automatically save the last 30 seconds of your gameplay, and you can change the options to make it save more or less, record whole gameplays, that sort of thing. The Xbox One has a similar feature. It hasn't been announced how it's going to work yet, but the Xbox One has been announced to record whole gameplays and save them so that you can just put them on your computer and re-upload them and use them later, that sort of thing. On top of this, the Xbox One and PS4 both come with streaming capabilities. The Xbox One, I believe, streams straight to Twitch. You don't even need any capture card or software for that. The PS4 does Ustream, so they went different methods there. But they've got these abilities and the necessity of having theater mode, because what people would do here is they'd have theater mode, and you could link it through your Call of Duty and YouTube accounts, and Call of Duty would upload it straight to your YouTube account in like 360p or something. But with this going on, the theater mode's kind of a redundant feature, because I talked about people not using it to its fullest extent, that sort of thing. Well, I would say about 98% of the use of theater mode is just straight playing back the first-person gameplay that you see on the left. Not a whole lot of this third-person stuff. You'd see a little bit of flybys and some cinematic kind of shots and editing and those sort of things, but generally not a whole lot of the dolly camera or time remapping or slow motion or really complicated stuff. Mostly just people playing back their first-person clips. So if you look at it from a design standpoint, it's like, okay, we've got this really cool thing. It takes a little bit of effort to implement, but you know, only about 2% of people even use it, and then the consoles come built in with what 98% of the people want, and ultimately it becomes a redundant feature. There's no point in having it if it's not there, if you can't justify the cost, the benefit, that already else something does it better, blah blah blah. So I'm pretty sure that's why it got the axe. And I kind of am going to miss that. I understand the decision. I don't like it entirely. I hope that, you know, maybe I'm totally wrong and that theater mode and Ghost is something awesome that's just been not announced yet and they're hanging on to, because that'll be a really fun game to take and go back in third person and make little cinematic clips and little montages. And I always tell myself on this channel, you know, the next video I make, I'm going to go back in theater mode and I'm going to get my clips and I'm going to show the third person of how it's going to happen, and it's going to look really great. And then the lazy side of me is like, bah, nobody cares about that, just show the first person gameplay. So that's what I end up doing, and it's kind of an unfortunate thing. A lot of other people in the same way. The Death Machine looks really cool in third person. That guy's just hosing people. So that's kind of where we're at. I don't know. I wish it would come back. I can't beg for it. The thing that I do worry about, the recording on the new consoles, the PS3, PS4 and Xbox One, I think that's a good feature. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy recording without having to purchase a capture card. I'm still going to purchase a capture card and use the capture card. I'm still probably going to recommend that people do that for a couple of reasons. I don't know the limitations of the recording on the new consoles. Like I said, my understanding, the PlayStation 4 has announced like 30-second recording. I don't know if they've announced full game yet. I'm assuming it'll be an option somewhere. The Xbox One hasn't announced the full details. I've read rumors that it'll do like 720p 30 FPS, which is somewhat below YouTube standard. We've moved up to 1080p here, and 1080p 60 FPS is coming eventually, so I have to kind of stay ahead of the curve. You'll get HD out of it, but it won't be like super high quality, and you'll get it in their format, and their frame rate, and their codec, and their bit rate, and their, like, whatever it is that they want to give it to you, that's how you're going to have to take it. On Xbox, if I had to bet, since it's, you know, a Microsoft product, I'm going to bet it's going to be a Windows Media video file, which in the past have not been the highest quality of videos. They get the job done, they're pretty stable, but they don't have the best color range. On Sony's PlayStation 4, I'm going to bet that it's going to be an MOV file or an MP4, because I know that they both have copyrights and access to those codecs, and that's mostly what they work with. So I'm assuming MOV, MP4, which are good files. Don't get me wrong, they're high quality. They're a little bit harder to work with and edit with than any sort of raw capture card file, though I mostly work with MP4s from the Elgato, so I guess it's doable. It all depends on how it's encoded. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something, and if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.